Depression in teens and younger people looks different than grown-ups. It's not always sadness. It's hard for us sometimes to name those feelings or to understand what's happening. We may never really understand why we feel like we feel, and that's okay. Oh, Josh, he was full of life. Josh was a lot of fun, especially as a little kid. He had tons of energy. He loved sports. He had a great imagination. He was just a fun little boy. And when he grew up, he was a very handsome young man. By the end of 7th grade, we knew that we had crossed into a whole other arena. And Josh, who was so bubbly and his smile could just light up a room, but suddenly he became more withdrawn. We entered into what we called the dark years. They were just 3 very dark years where Josh, instead of always, we were a very close family and we always did a lot of fun things together, but instead of turning towards his siblings and talking to his dad and I, he just went inside. Halfway through his sophomore year, Josh began to really struggle. He had what we believe was his first suicide attempt. But then a young lady came into his life. He had a reason to live, and it brought him so much joy. 4 months later, he found out he was going to be a dad. It was the spark that sparked him back to life. You know, it pulled him out of his depression. Of all the things he didn't think he could do, he knew that he could love, and Josh loved so well. He had the biggest heart. We noticed over about a 4-month period of time the depression starting to raise its head again, and he started to just decompensate. We watched him slowly start to just slip away emotionally from us. Well, today I would rather not remember. It's a day that changed her life forever. So we stopped back at the house in the afternoon and I said, you know, Josh, I know you're busy and you have a lot of errands, but you know, we'd love for you to stay for dinner. And he said, oh, Mom, I'd love to, but I'll do that another time. So I said, okay, and I gave him a big hug and he left. He had gotten a phone call from his girlfriend who their relationship was struggling. And we didn't know this, and so they met for lunch, and they had a conversation that was very painful for Josh, and he just very quietly told her that he knew what he needed to do and asked her to please get out of his truck, and she, I think, knew what he was going to do, begged him not to go, and but he did. He left. And she immediately called our daughter to tell us that she thinks Josh is serious about wanting to take his life. And she was right. And so he came back to the house. Josh was given a hunting rifle by my father right before he died. And it was in this house, but I didn't know it. So he came back to get that. And he did. He got that. And I wasn't at the house at the time, but my daughter was here. And she tried to stop him from leaving. And she made him promise that he wouldn't do anything crazy. And he promised her that he wouldn't. But he told her that he loved her. And she knew in her heart that he was going to do something. So she ran back in the house to grab her keys to follow him. And she couldn't find her keys. By the time she found them, he was already gone out of the driveway. We just knew what had happened. But they didn't find Josh till the next day. You know, as his parents, as a mother, I'm always going to wonder, is there something more I could have done, could have said? There are dozens upon dozens of messages on his phone once he turned it off, from all of us calling and saying, Josh, we love you, please just let us know where you're at. You know, keep talking to your teens, keep talking to your friends, keep talking to your loved ones that you think might be struggling. And just know that there's always people there that are willing to listen and to hear. The greatest gift that He has left us as a family is to just be mindful, aware, and notice when people are hurting. Just recognize that someone may look a certain way on the outside, but you don't know what's on the inside. So He taught us to look for the inside, to look for the strengths, to look for the beauty on the inside of people, not to judge, but to come alongside and try to help. When people get that desperate that they don't feel like they can go on anymore, they're not trying to end their life, they're trying to end their pain. People don't want to end their life. It is our impulse, natural impulse to live. People want to end their pain. And so we all play a part in that. Can we help lighten someone else's pain, ease it, or do we make it more difficult? That's what we have to ask ourselves every night before we go to bed. How did I do today? Hopefully we're doing okay. Hopefully we're making it lighter.